1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay guys, let's have a look at Morning Bounce by Bernard Geary. This is a fairly simple piece. Although there's 5 lines of music, 4 of those lines are very similar to one of the other lines. So for example, we're going to have a look at right now the first line, which is also the 4th line. Okay, so everything that you work on here, with the exception of the dynamics, is exactly the same in line 1 and line 4. Okay, so if you're looking at the left hand, let's look at the left hand first, and it's really quite easy. You're starting in this kind of B flat position, right? Where we're having our 5th finger on B flat and our 2nd finger on E flat. Although you don't really play a B flat, so you don't really need to put your 5th finger on that B flat, but the 2nd finger on your E flat would be very helpful to have, all right? So this is just kind of like a little walking bass. So you're gonna start on the F. So 1, 2, ready, and you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, going just down, and then you're gonna go down again. And this time, play an E natural at the end, right? And that's all it is, right? So again, it's, now I try to put a little separation in between, because I don't think you should want it too legato at this point, right? Put a little bit of separation in between, try to get used to doing that. Now, on the right hand, okay, now we have this kind of what I call a 3rd position for our hand, right? Which is basically your hand is outlining a F major chord in 2nd inversion, right? And of course, an F major chord is F, A, and C. You're just going to go down 1 position where you're playing C, F, and A, all right? And you want to start in this kind of slightly open hand position, right? Because we'll be playing C, D, F, A. And you have to have your 3rd, your 5th fingers out a little bit, okay? All right. Now, and then you're going to move in the 2nd bar with your 4th finger on C, all right? And don't forget about that B flat that's about to come. And you're just going to come down. And you're going to go back to that first position that we had, that slightly open F major's 2nd inversion position. And this time you're going to play all your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Skipping the E, of course. You're going to come back down up to that 2nd position that you just were playing with the 4th finger on the C. Right? And putting them together, it's quite easy, all right? So you just have to have those 2 position changes in the right hand going all the time. So here it is. Here's that first position. Second, this is what we call the 2nd inversion of F major. All right? So, all right, and then we're going to go up with the 4th finger up here. Back to the first position. All right, and then 4th finger on C. Okay, and that's exactly what happens in line 4. Okay, so let's have a look at line 2, which also happens to be almost the same as the last line, with the exception of the last 2 notes of the line. Okay, so looking at it, both hands are going to move, and you're going to move into an F position. F, A, C. Okay? Both hands are going to move. Now, the left hand, let's look at that first. It's because in here, there's going to be a cross, which I'm going to ask that you do, right? So you're playing this open 5th on an F major chord here, 1 and 5, all right? And then 2nd chord in bar 6th, your thumb just goes up and plays that D flat. All right, And then you're just going to come back to the F major position and play the melody here, which is the exact same thing that your right hand plays, by the way. So, right? So having a look at that again, it's 3, 1, 3, 5, and then you have to play that A flat with your third finger. And this is where I'm going to ask you to do a cross. You're going to cross your thumb underneath your fourth finger and play the F. All right? And the reason that you're doing that is because you have to jump an octave for the end of that line. All right? So you're playing up here, 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 4, cross under your fourth, play the F, and spread your hand out for that octave, and then you can play and close your hand down there, okay? So that we're playing the the F, G, A, the last three notes of the line with our 5, 4, and 3, okay? And that's really important. You should always be able to feel octaves when you see octaves. That's why we're changing to our thumb, okay? Now, looking at the right hand, also starting in position F, right? So you're going to go, and then fourth finger on B flat, and then you're going to play that figure that the left hand just played, and then end your new thumb, okay? So there's no position changes in the right hand on the second line, and you just have that one tiny position change for the left hand. So putting them together, left hand has to move the thumb. Now they play the exact same thing together. Here's the A flat. Cross your thumb in your left hand. So you're playing two thumbs. Now stretch. Okay guys, so here is the third line, which is the only line that's slightly different, okay? Now, you should be down here in this F position, and all you need to do with your left hand is just move your fourth finger to the B flat. So you're just going to go B flat, B natural, C, D, using a different finger for each one, 4, 3, 2, 1, all right? Then you're going to jump up to the G here, fourth finger and G, and play everything that the right hand is playing above you. So the hands actually play exactly the same thing. Good. And then you're going to end with the last three notes, which is B flat, A, G. Just sequential fingers. Don't do any changes there, okay? Now the right hand, starting, see you were in an F position, and you should stay in your F position, except now it's F minor with an A flat in there. That's the first note. So with your third finger playing A flat. Good. And no moving, so you'll play the C with your fifth finger. And then just with your thumb, play the F sharp. All right, so you have to do a little pivot there with your hand. So pivot a little bit so that it's comfortable to play the F sharp with your thumb. All right, but then you're in position to continue. So you can just go 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 5. So there's essentially no real position changes in the right hand. You do have to play an A flat with your third finger from time to time in the beginning, and then you do have to play an F sharp with your first finger in the second bar, okay? But besides that, all the fingers just stay in this position, okay? So it looks like this. We're going to start with our fourth finger on B flat here, and our hand in F minor position. So, and I'm just going up the fingers on my left hand and going down on the right hand. You see that? And then you have to jump your left hand up to fourth finger on G and play the same thing. And here you're going to do a cross on your left hand so that you can get back to your original position. So we want to get back to the position that we were in line 1. Okay? So you're going to cross, and I'm going to play everything that I just played in line 1. Last line, which is the same as line 2, so get into F position. There's our D flat. Now they play the same notes, and we're going to do that left hand cross again, cross under your 4, and stretch to play that last octave, which happens to be an F, just like the octave above, okay? All right, good luck with that. Have fun learning this, and we'll see you in the next video. That's it for this video. If you found this video helpful, please consider clicking on that like button and subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching.